What is up, you wonderful people? This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Wanted to give you a quick update. It's been about 6 weeks since I started using the M1 MacBooks and wanted to tell you my thoughts, if I think you should get one, if I think you should wait, how the experience has been. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a freelancer, I do client work, I make videos here on YouTube, so most of this is gonna be centered around video production, because that's the primary way that I use this laptop. So 6 weeks ago, my buddy sold me the 8 gigabytes of RAM MacBook Air with 512 gigabytes of storage space. My plan when I got that was to keep it, make videos on it, and then get this MacBook Pro, which has 16 gigabytes of RAM, in order to kind of upgrade and be able to get the full capacity and like video rendering, all that sort of thing. Went through a couple times of ordering this and then canceling it and then ordering it and then canceling it, because basically that 8 gigabyte RAM version with the Air, I just really started to like it. And it wasn't slow by any means. It was much faster than what I had been used to. I made a video about that if you wanna go watch that initial video about kind of speed testing it. But then the guy who sold it to me, Scott McKenna, he was like, hey, do you still have that available? I'd buy it back from you. And I was like, yeah. So I did end up getting this MacBook Pro with 16 gigabytes. That's where all of this experience is coming from. Let me tell you everything I like about it, and then there's one major thing, a very big thing that I don't like about it. First things first, the size. Like, I came from a 2015 15-inch MacBook Pro, so I was a little bit nervous going down to 13 inches, but I really ended up not minding the size of the screen at all, just kind of readjusting the size on the screen to be able to see everything I need to see. And you know, I basically just use it for editing and checking email. The screen ended up working fine for me. I think there's a lot of editors who really like big screens, but most of them are using external monitors then in that case. So for me, size is like a benefit. To stick it in the Peter McKinnon Nomadic bag, which is my, like, it fills up like half of it. It's just so easy to take everywhere, and I really ended up loving the size of it. Obviously, the speed of editing, of the processing power, the GPU, I don't even know what's making it so fast, but editing 10-bit 422, slightly compressed. You know, I don't use the H.265 version. If you're into the A7S III, I use the H.264 still. It just handles all of that footage like a boss. 120 frames per second, 10-bit 422, can handle it. Very impressed by the speed. That's nothing new. You probably knew that. Very quickly about the sponsor, Squarespace, there's a bunch of features that they've added for filmmakers specifically that I just wanna run through for you because I don't think you've heard them yet. If you do consulting, if you do any sort of membership-based anything, Squarespace has membership areas built right into the site, so you can utilize that. That's an extra way to make money right inside your Squarespace site. When it comes to portfolios and galleries, obviously they've got them, but they also have password protected portfolios and galleries. So if you do any sort of like showing your client stuff that not everybody can see, you can do that right inside Squarespace. This is something that gets glossed over, but it's actually huge. The mobile version of your website just automatically exists without you having to go and create a separate version of it. And you know those funky domains like .art, or there's a bunch of different types now. You can get those directly through Squarespace. So getting a domain through Squarespace, super easy. If you wanna try Squarespace out, you can do it for free at squarespace.com/CodyWarner. Get a 2-week free trial, and then when you're ready to buy, use the code CodyWarner to get 10% off your first purchase. Next like on this puppy, everything works. So I use Lightroom for all my photo editing, and it doesn't have like the M1 chip version yet or something like that, but it still works seamlessly. It works fine. I haven't found any lost functionality since switching to the M1 chip, even though all of the software hasn't caught up yet. The price being under $2,000 for me was just like kind of mind-blowing. Just the stuff we can do with these machines now is crazy. It just really made sense. I really like the price. Battery life is fantastic. It also charges very fast, which is important. The one concern I had with getting the Pro over the Air was the fan, just because I just fell in love with not having a fan on the Air, but I didn't like that after about 8 minutes of hard taxing work or like rendering, editing, whatever, it would start to slow down slightly. Again, nothing crazy. But anyway, I liked not ever hearing a fan. Since I got this, and this has been about 3 weeks in my hands now, the fan has literally never turned on. I just like, maybe I'm not doing complex enough stuff, but this thing is just as quiet as my MacBook Air was but it's not gonna get that thermal throttle if it does ever get taxed past whatever amount. I made a big deal out of the touch bar at first. Like, I don't care about it, it's fine. I don't use it, but I don't not like having it. My only dislike, but it's big enough for me to tell you that you should wait until the next iteration of this thing comes out, is these 2 ports. Like, that's it. That's the ports, just the 2 of them. If you're charging something, you can have 1 drive plugged in. Granted, you can get docks, you can get just those dongles and connectors. There's one from Otherworld Computing that my friend Sean told me about that basically adds 3 more high-speed USB-C ports, which sounds good, but it's an extra $200 or something, and then you have this thing sticking off, and that takes away from the size. So the lack of ports is just a bummer. It's just a bummer for me. And I know for sure the next generation of this is gonna have more ports. Even if it was just 1 more, actually, that would be fine for me. So takeaway, do I think you should buy one of these, either the Air or the Pro? If you do, definitely get the 16 gigabyte version of RAM. But if you can wait, it's probably months at this point, depending on when you're watching this video, that the next version's gonna come out, the M1X or whatever it's gonna be, and it's gonna have a bunch of ports, same form factor or bigger if you want that bigger screen back. So wait if you can. That's my take. Check out Squarespace. See you in the next one. I was gonna go outside today and shoot this whole sequence of me at a skate park, and I was whip the laptop out. It's gonna be rad, but it's very cold and windy, freezing. I walked into the office, I was shivering. I'm sorry that I couldn't shoot that sequence next time, okay? Next time.